first 100 days was first coined by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who in 1932 inherited a knee-knocking recession. People were scared. And that first 100 days gave people confidence and hope in the future. And Franklin Roosevelt famously said, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Here we're concluding another 100 days of the Donald Trump administration. He inherited an economy that was good for everybody, reducing inflation, growing opportunity for people. This 100 days has been just the opposite. People are scared. People are holding back. We're going the wrong way. He's driving the economy into a ditch. As opposed to the only thing you have to fear is fear itself, you might as well say, if you're scared today, just wait till tomorrow. And I say this broadly. I get an opportunity, you give me to travel. I get to talk to our allies, Canada, Germany, India. They're saying, what happened, America? We were friends, we were allies, we were family. Now you're calling for a divorce. That's not good for them, that's not good for world peace. And meanwhile, we can't tell our enemy from our friends in this administration. Vladimir Putin is going, Donald, you still rooting for Putin? It's backwards what we're doing right now. I talk to the business community a lot. I talk to a lot of small business. A lot of them were supportive of Donald Trump. He thought that would be good for the economy. They have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring, and that uncertainty is slowing this economy down. When you make investments, you make them for the next 10, 20 years. In this environment, people don't know what the economy is going to look like in 10 or 20 days. We've gone through this before. Tariffs are a six-letter word for tax. Tariffs are going to increase inflation on people and slow down the economy. I grew up in the 70s. When you have increasing inflation and a slowing economy, that's called stagflation. And we're not going to let that happen again.
And so people ask me, Mr. Attorney General, what happens if we're in a constitutional crisis? We are in a constitutional crisis right now. When people are getting kidnapped off the streets by the U.S. government, when they're tearing up state budgets, when they're tearing up the federal government, when an unelected billionaire just gets to go in there and do whatever he wants. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the president came down here and said, hey, Sean, you're a good guy. I trust you. You're pretty smart. I'm going to drop you in the most secure part of the nuclear subbase in Groton. And I'm worried there's some little bit of waste. Why don't you just go in there and tear it up and do whatever you want to do? Can you imagine if a president did that? Or speaking of birthright citizenship, it is so unlawful, so contrary to the U.S. Constitution and the 14th Amendment. Can you imagine if another president said, you know what, I don't care what the Second Amendment says. No American in this country can possess a firearm. People would lose their minds. That's where we are right now.